Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Pillar Sports. We took a break, but we are back right now with the lives. So make sure you guys join us. Today, we are going to be talking about the crazy move that has happened with Savinho on his way probably to Spurs. And we are also going to talk about the Baleba news. We spoke about this a little bit, and we are going to get a little bit deeper into this particular one. Let me tell you something about this situation. It is hitting up crazily. When I'm talking about is Baleba and Baleba to Manchester United. It is absolutely hitting up and it's getting crazy. I'm telling you, it is getting crazy. But the beautiful thing about the situation is that there's so many things going on, and we are absolutely going to check it out today. So first things first, we need to speak on about the what do you call it? The Savinho news, right? We need to get into the Savinho news, get into the Savinho news, talk about it, and then kind of break it down on what we are seeing with Savinho. Is he going to be going to what they call it? To Tottenham Hotspur, or is he going to be staying at Manchester City? Bear in mind, he came not too long ago. So it is going to be crazy with this thing kind of going on. So first things first, let's talk about Savinho. Savinho, the exclusive news from Fabrizio Romano says Tottenham Hotspur open club to club talks with um, Manchester City to sign Savinho. Negotiations ongoing between Spurs and City. Also, understand Savinho's open to the move if the clubs can agree on a fee. Tottenham boss Thomas Frank has indicated that Savinho is an ideal player. This is absolutely crazy work. It is beautiful news. It is good news for Tottenham Hotspur in my mind, because in my mind, when you look at these two sides, when you look at these two players, it is just truly magnificent. It is truly magnificent. And that's why I'm saying that it is definitely going to be a top one if they can get a way to get this deal done. If they can get a way to move for Savinho, somebody that has been very talented. He's a talented boy. Now, last season, it did not really go well for Savinho, right? It did not really go well for Savinho because Savinho got one goal last season, but 8 assists. One goal last season, but 8 assists. And that's the key part of this situation. It's not going to be a situation where every single thing is going to be rosy. But he has talent. We have seen that talent at Girona when he was playing as Girona, and it was talented. He's a talented boy. So the truth about it is, he needs to get the time to play. And he's probably not going to get that much with the likes of Reinders coming in, with the likes of Phil Foden getting more of a step up in this team, and with Guardiola trying to get a different style of play. All these things are definitely going to be affecting him. So it's going to be a situation where he's going to leave, in my opinion. Now, Dave Ornstein comes out and tells us that what's his name? He tells us that Tottenham in talks with Manchester City to sign Savinho. Manchester City are not actively wanting to sell, but 50 million euros deal being discussed. The 21-year-old open to the Tottenham move, while Pep Guardiola tends to not block a player when they want out of Manchester City. So that's definitely one thing that is definitely hitting up in this situation. We have seen this idea already back to back. When it comes to players wanting out of Manchester City, Pep Guardiola doesn't stop him. He actually opens the door to say, okay, if you want to leave, you can leave. And that's how he has basically operated for the most part. So the truth about it is, that's what we are seeing. That's what we are seeing. You get me? That is what we are seeing. It's quite disappointing to see. And nobody is going to talk about this, but we are going to talk about it here on Pillar Sports. This is a player that came from Girona, a talented winger, and someone that every single person thought was going to be the next purpose or the next winger, the next Riyad Mahrez. However, what we are seeing in this situation is that it's not working out. It's not working out. He's not giving the production that Pep Guardiola wants. And in this situation, it gets difficult. It gets a little bit more difficult because now Pep Guardiola has to be like, okay, what am I going to do in this situation? And now he has basically made a decision. He has made a decision in my mind that this guy, even though he's going to be like, oh, we want him to stay, I feel like that's just a PR from a coach's point of view, just in case if he doesn't leave. just in case if he doesn't leave. So they're not going to kind of turn away a really good player. United Guy 11 says, is Baleba news real? Yes, Baleba news is real because the IndyCar guys that has the first broke the news that Manchester United were in for Baleba, and then you saw Dave Onsley kind of credit them. They came out again and said that Manchester United and Baleba has basically been discussed and they have agreed personal terms with Baleba. Now, the truth about it is, why do I think this is actually real? Because first things first, we have to understand that Baleba is getting 12,000 pounds a week in Brighton. So he is on a very, very cheap salary right now for Brighton. But then you look at the situation of Manchester United, right? If you look at Manchester United can offer him £100,000 per week. And if we offer him £100,000 per week, why doesn't he want to show? So that deal of us agreeing for him to come to Manchester United is the easiest part of this deal. Usually agreeing the deal with the player is not um is usually the hardest part because you need to convince the player to come to your team. You need to convince the player of your project. You need to agree a deal with the player, agree a length of contract, and then you get personal terms agreed. But when you then go to the team, that's a little bit easier because once you agree to pay what the team wants, they let the player go. But with this particular one, is the other way around because Baleba making £12,000 a week is literally chicken change. That is what our academy players are getting. You understand? So Manchester United can offer this player because he's a talented boy. Can offer this player £100,000, which is a crazy jump, by the way. Because in my mind, I would think we should offer him around 80,000 to £90,000. Offer him that, get the personal terms agreed, and then start the conversations with Brighton. Now, what they have reported is that they haven't given us the details on what the numbers are. However, what they said was that the personal terms has already been agreed between Manchester United and Baleba on a 5-year contract. Now the situation is that Manchester United then need to go into negotiations and go into talks with Brighton Hove Albion. Now this is where the difficult part is going to come on, because one thing is for sure: Brighton do not move until they feel they have gotten the money that they want to get from him, from the player. They do not move. We have seen it happen with what's his name? We have seen it happen with Moises Caicedo going to Chelsea. We've seen it happen with Pedro going to Chelsea. We've seen it happen with Robert Sanchez going to Chelsea, with Cucurella going to Chelsea. Brighton just get what they want when they have a player that they want to sell. That's one thing that they have been doing best, and that's one thing they're going to do in this situation. And when you look at this particular one, I don't think Brighton are going to even negotiate or start a negotiation if we do not come together with around 80 million pounds. If we don't bring about 80 million pounds, they do not even come to the table to negotiate because Carlos Baleba has 3 years on his contract with an additional year. So technically, that's 4 years. You understand? Technically, that's 4 years because the option is not for Carlos Baleba. The option is for Brighton Hove Albion. You understand? So this particular situation is going to be difficult for Manchester United to get him to Old Trafford. But one thing is for sure, it is good to see that we are even trying. It is good to see that we are even trying because it is going to be a mind-blowing move, a earth-shattering, earth-shaking kind of move. If we get the here we go for Marcos Baleba or Carlos, but why am I always calling him Marcus? For Carlos Baleba to Manchester United, if we can get the here we go, it will be mind-blowing. Anyway, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't, because this is our morning show and it's coming to you guys very early as we begin the day. So make sure you guys hit that like button because Carlos Baleba has basically made it known to Brighton and Paul Barber and the likes of the people that are doing the negotiations with Brighton that he would like to move to Manchester United. That is what has been reported, and that is what we are bringing to you guys right now because it is good news. It is truly good news because one thing is for sure: if Carlos Baleba comes to Manchester United, we can absolutely put it that we are going to be getting a midfield general. He would be the best thing since Paul Scholes in our midfield. You understand? Don't get me wrong, Paul Pogba, he is a mixture of N'Golo Kante and Paul Pogba's brilliance. That's one thing that I've been trying to tell people. He is strong, powerful, can carry the ball, but has engine like N'Golo Kante. I always told people that N'Golo Kante looked like he had freaking four lungs in his body. And this kid is almost similar. His engine is absolutely crazy. One thing last summer is that he had the highest amount of covering in terms of blades covered, in terms of runs. He had the highest amount of interceptions, the highest amount of tackles. Bro, he did everything as a midfielder for Brighton. The only time that Brighton started going back or started going down was when Brighton actually had a problem with him because he was injured. You understand? He had an injury, and so in that situation, it becomes a little bit more difficult. So that is where Carlos Baleba is going on. He is a talented boy that we absolutely know. And for sure, one thing is for clear, one thing is crystal clear about the situation is that he is absolutely a talent. He is absolutely a talent, and we need to absolutely find a way to get this deal done. If we can find a way to get this deal done, we would absolutely be making a good a good investment in this kid. Now, it's not going to be something of us getting the deal in a cheap manner. But the truth about it is, we might be getting a talented guy. We might be getting somebody that is truly, truly going to be significant in the way we move in the future. So that's one thing that we need to absolutely understand. It is something that we need to absolutely understand, and we need to get it together. Because once we do, I'm telling you guys, once we do, it is going to be magnific. It's going to be magnificent if we can get this deal over the line. But let's keep on going because we have a lot of things to cover today. Let's keep on going because we have a lot of things to cover today. This is one thing that we need to speak about. It is about Erasmus Hoyland. It is about Erasmus Hoyland going to AC Milan. This news comes from the Manchester United Evening News. The Manchester Evening News. This is, of course, the MEN, but it's also from Samuel Locust. If there's one thing we know is that Samuel Locust is somebody that gets news straight out of Manchester United. I don't think it's a new phenomenon that he gets the news out of them. And so let's kind of run it through and talk about this deal as you guys get ready to start your day. You get me? So in this particular deal, let's get it together. In this particular deal right now, we are looking at Manchester United going through this deal, right? It says here, Manchester United striker Rasmus Højlund is open to joining AC Milan. United are confident a deal can be struck with AC Milan, who is rebuilding their squad following the return of coach Massimiliano Allegri. Milan finished eighth last season and failed to qualify for Europe. It remains unclear whether a permanent deal could materialize as Manchester United value Hoyland around £30 million and Milan are seeking a loan move for the 22-year-old. Hoyland is only 2 years into his 5-year deal at Manchester United, but the club decided this calendar year to cash in if they can recruit a new centre forward. Benjamin Šeško was introduced to Old Trafford crowd ahead of the preseason friendly with Fiorentina on Saturday after he completed his £73.62 million move from RB Leipzig. Hoyland was an unused substitute in the 1-1 draw. The first time he did not appear in any of Manchester United's 5 preseason matches. Head coach Ruben Amorim elected to start the playmaker Mason Mount up front, having played Mateus Cunha there in the 2-2 draw with Everton 6 days earlier. The men revealed last week sources close to Rasmus Højlund felt he would have to leave if Sheshko came in. Højlund is unhappy at United, seemingly forcing him out, and stressed 12 days ago he would oh my God, 12 days ago that he wanted to remain at the club. Ruben Amorim refused a public assurance that Hoyland would stay. International players are under more pressure to ensure that they have regular playing time this season ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Hoyland has secured one goal in his last 16 appearances for Denmark and was dropped to the bench for their last qualifier against Lithuania. United signed Hoyland from Atalanta for £72 million deal in July 2030. 2023, having planned to break the £6 million barrier for their frontman. Hoyland has also scored 26 goals in 95 games for the club. So that's basically what we are seeing for Rasmus Hoyland right now. It is honestly a situation where Manchester United need to figure this out as crystal clear and as quick as possible, because one thing is for sure, we are having a problem with our striking lineup. We are having a huge problem with scoring goals, and we need to get it together. So of that is the news of Rasmus Hoyland. Whether he's going to be leaving Manchester United or not, I'm going to keep you guys updated with this situation. And then we are looking at Crystal Palace, who are the champions of England after winning the charity, or not the charity cup, but the what do you call that again? I've forgotten the name. That's how insignificant it was to me, honestly. But Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish on Matt Gahey, he says on Matt Gahey, because this is a critical part of this situation. He basically says here, he says Crystal Palace chairman Steve Parish on McGahey. Of course, for players that caliber to leave on a free, it's a problem. It needs a new contract or a conclusion of some kind. Gehi won't sign a new deal, and exit in final 20 days is likely. So this is a situation that um, Steve Parish understands. Steve Parish definitely understands the situation that Mark Gahey leaving Crystal Palace on a free is absolutely a bad idea. It is a bad idea, and they need to absolutely get this together. And so we have 20 days for the deal to actually be done. If not, the transfer window closes, and Magehi in January will be able to talk to any club, any single club, because his contract is going to be coming to an end in July. So this is a situation that Crystal Palace need to figure out very, very soon. They need to figure it out very soon. If not, and the funny thing about Magehi, he is currently, for me, right now, the best English striker. I say striker, the best English defender. He right now, as we speak, currently to me, the best English defender. And so Mark Gahey going to a team or leaving on a free is absolutely nasty work. They
Surely
can't
his contract
absolutely
in
they can't
wages,
have
he's
it
going
happen.
to have to
They
make some
honestly just
sort of.
cannot afford to let Magehi go on a free. You understand? They just can't afford to do that. And so let's keep on going with the transfer news. Let's keep on going with the transfer news. Let's keep on going. Kingsley Coman's move to Al Nassr can be done as soon as the Saudi clubs waits for the final green light from Bayern. Coleman already said yes, as revealed. This is a shocker because I do not think Coleman leaving Bayern was going to be the right thing, especially going to Al Nassr. But the truth about it is that Coleman has done everything. He has won everything. He has won Champions League. He has won the Bundesliga. He has won even at PSG. He has won everywhere he went to. So it doesn't make any sense to me to kind of keep him kind of toddled. If you guys do not need him, let him go. Um, so we also have a here we go. We have Omar Al Arderete to Sunderland is a here we go. The deal is sealed with Getafe for £10 million fee. That's one thing Sunderland is definitely doing. They are finding a way to make sure that they stay up in the Premier League. Al Nassr are not working on Ferran Torres' deal. Zero talks, zero interest on both sides. Al Nassr are confident on getting Kingsley Coleman deal done in 24 hours to 48 hours as winger addition. And for Ferran Torres, he's focused on Barcelona alone. Another thing is Alejandro Garnacho is patiently waiting for his move to Chelsea to happen later in the window. He posted a picture of him in his gym. I think that's a home gym of him working out and just putting that kind of time clock saying it's loading in that situation. So it is definitely exciting to see what is going to happen with Alejandro Garnacho. I believe he's going to leave. That is not a new phenomenon, but the truth about it is it is absolutely good to see. Now let's look at what um MUTV has to say about Benjamin Sheshko because we haven't covered that already. And I think it will be best if we do cover it because the truth about it is that we have a talented guy on our hands and I'll be doing you guys a disservice, right? I'll be doing you guys a disservice if we do not look at the interview of um of Benjamin Sheshko to Manchester United. So let's find a way to get that going so you guys can absolutely look at it. So based on what we are seeing, it says Benjamin Sheshko has been a long term. Wow, I don't know what is going on, but I can't read anymore. Benjamin Sheshko has long been on the radar of every top club due to the outstanding potential that he has displayed since young age. The powerful athletic center forward started out in the junior football with his hometown Radens located in and and Zagreb, Ljubljana and Zagreb, where he had two spells either side on a short stay in I do not know how to pronounce these names, I'm so sorry. By the time he was performing at the under 15 level, he was with Cresco. The goals were flowing the staggering rate 59 in 23 league appearances. He made the Slovenia national team in this age group. The switch to top flight side Dumville soon led to the greater awareness of his prestigious talents. Remarkable, this is even when United were first linked to the rookie hitman, but it has been reported that he was keen not to move into one of the major leagues soon, preferring to learn his trade step by step. A tally of 21 goals in 23 league games in the 2018-2019 spoke volumes about his talent, and he only stayed a season before becoming a professional with RB Salzburg in Austria at the age of 16. The move to a new country has huge momentum for Seshko, and it was deemed to be the best option for his development with a loan spell. The partner club, um, Leifrin, what? Leipzig, I think, were preferred option destination in 2020-2021 season as he made an instant impression, bagging 21 goals in 29 appearances for the Australian second tier. Promotion to RB Leipzig senior squad was inevitable, but he also represented the Australians in the UEFA Youth League playing against Liverpool and helping the side reach the semi-finals before narrowly going out to Real Madrid, with the competition extended due to COVID-19 pandemic. By the time he was 19, the natural next step was announced with the news the centre forward would join the partner club RB Leipzig and attempted to continue his progress in Germany. At that point, he started every game in the season. Speculations was rife about the interest from Premier League. Perhaps telling though, the plan was carefully managed for Sheshko, who would continue to play at Salzburg for the 2022-2023 term before beginning a 5-year contract with Leipzig in 2023-2024. Speaking to the Australian club's website, he addressed the future move with clarity and conviction, maturity, giving the impression that he is somebody who wants to progress by gaining the required experience along the way. I have read and heard so much about me in recent weeks, and a lot of it had no basis in reality. He stated, in order for to end the speculation and fully concentrate on my tax here, I want it was important for me to arrange the next steps in my career already. I want to gain I wanted to gain clarity as soon as possible. Man, I'm having a bad day in reading this. So I'm just gonna stop because I'm not wearing my glasses today and I'm having a serious time in getting this together. So guys, we'll definitely go on and talk about a lot more things, but I'm going to also give you guys the interview once the things kind of get out. Um Another thing about Newcastle is that they have basically gotten Malik Tor. The deal is done. It was a 40 million pound deal for the situation. So that's definitely that. Um, but yeah, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. I'm so sorry that we are cutting it short today, but a lot of things has been going on. I'm not feeling the greatest, and my eyes are definitely hurting. But it's not an excuse. We'll definitely get back into the groove of things later this evening. So make sure you guys hit that like button, turn on your notifications on everything that we do here on Pillar Sports, so you guys do not miss out on anything. I'll see you guys in the next one. Much love between me and you. I'll see you guys. Peace.